Sunshine, yeah, moonlight, good times,
Moonlight.
Hey, why is that little man? Did you ever notice the dance that he's doing? He's like,
he be jamming. He be jamming.
hey, he's like little Mel on that for me.
He be jamming.
Now we're gonna talk about
Welcome.
There's no more Lil Mel talk.
He was doing a little Mel. If you look at the video,
Now messing up my intro.
Oh,
welcome, one and all. Welcome to Blame It on the Boogie podcast. We just three average brothers, as D dudes always say, better than average. Coming to talk to you about what we love, and that's sports.
Sound like Sadia. 1, 2, 3 babies. 3 babies. 3 babies.
3 babies.
Old babies. 3 old
in the eyes of Sadia. Starting with D-double-O-Z-E, Antoine Williams, coming from Florida, Missouri. We got Dorian, the Almighty, the Wonder Mouse Brown, coming from Richmond, Virginia, California. And of course, you got me, Rodney, coming to you from normally Detroit, but I'm down in Birmingham right now. So
come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee.
that was out of nowhere.
Crambone,
Left.
round the corner, you get right. Crambone.
Okay.
I don't broke the guitar string. Here, kitty. Here, kitty.
As y'all can see, we ain't been on in a while, so we just acting crazy. We just having fun.
You know something? I want to start this off by saying, bruh, that is a nice mix you did. That Blame It on the Boogie with that beat. That is nice. I have to give you props, in front of everybody, on the podcast, so it's recorded. That man, that's nice. It started making me think about rhyming. I was literally in my head like, okay, all right, yeah, that's dope. Okay, so anyway, okay. Sorry,
I think my flow kind of goes with that as well, but we'll work on that later.
Yeah, that man, that's dope. Okay,
we'll come up with some lyrics for the theme music.
Renegade is one of the greatest hip hop beats ever, in my opinion. I love Renegade. And then, of course, you got to put Mike. You put Mike in there.
He got bit by a snake while he was.
you put Mike in there, man. You make it even better.
So anyway, yeah.
Anyway, back to what we come to talk about. We gonna mark this down because I'm gonna keep playing that every time. Said D giving me props, because he always like to give me problems, not props.
It's because your opinions are terrible.
Shut it up. Anyway, we want to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight. As always, if you haven't already done so, press that like button, press that subscribe button, the follow button, send dudes the money.
Bring it.
Definitely don't send it to Rodney.
Is it gonna
That's another story.
It's gonna get spent. If you want to find us on YouTube, it's at From the Boogie. But we also have a Twitter account. We got that we never use. We have a TikTok. We got an Instagram. Yeah, we got them all. They're set up, but we also need someone to come do our social media stuff. We hate
to monitor our Twitter account. so that we all at least know that we have one.
You will be compensated.
When y'all can use the money,
we can only give you $30 a month.
Send us the money, and then we'll compensate everybody.
That's $10 a piece.
You can also
Even I can work that out.
Our website, BIOTBpodcast.com, and find all of our programming there, along with what we also need help with, and that's our Shopify page, because we got stuff on there. You don't never do nothing with it. So we need somebody to come take over that stuff too. Now just come help us, man. Just come help us. That's what we saying. Come help us.
All right, we'll be getting our endorsements soon, anyway. So.
Yeah.
When I get that endorsement, I need somebody to help us put this stuff out there.
Yeah, then we'll be able to afford that $30 a month to help get somebody to work for us.
Right. Then we need to pay you to come do what Rodney talking about.
Exactly. And then they need to monitor our website, our email address, because don't nobody take that either.
Mm-hmm.
We got an email.
We hurting right now.
We need y'all to come check out. Come take over checking our emails.
Right.
Oh, we got it all. We got it all.
Take this job, please.
Yeah, please.
Please.
Listen here, man. Let's get into it. Let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into it. The first thing we're gonna talk about. Oh, you push the button?
Yeah. You told me to.
I'm gonna let you push the buttons. NCAA women tournament. It's about to be lit. You got South Carolina, LSU, you got Iowa, you got Ohio State, USC. All these teams are vying for the women's national championship. You still have the old heads in Tennessee and in Connecticut that are still out there that's ready to compete. This is one of the most anticipated NCAA women's tournament in a long time, mainly because of the big name, of course, like Caitlin Clark. But you have, the Bayou Barbie. I'm sorry. Can we call her that still?
No.
I mean, I think you can call her that. She just can't call herself that.
In the words of Nate Dogg,
we can say it, but she can't.
Yeah, right. The words of Nate Dogg, you can call her what you want to.
Yeah, we can call her that, but she can't. But I'm really looking forward to this tournament, man. I'm really looking forward. What's crazy is I've watched more women's basketball, NCAA basketball games this year than I have men's basketball games.
Yeah, we all have. Yeah, I was watching what we were watching the other day, D. They were saying, can you name the top 5 to 10 college men players?
Oh, not at all.
Yeah. And you could get deeper if you were naming the women players, the top women players in the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, this has been the first time I can ever say, yeah, that is true.
That is so true. That is so true.
Have they had the selection tournament? Because all of the finals ended.
No, the final is next weekend.
Who?
Selection Sunday is next Sunday.
What I'm saying is that all of the women's conference finals.
The women's. Yeah.
All the women. Yeah, men's are this week. But I'm saying, so when is the selection tournament?
That is a very.
It said their tournament begins on March the 17th.
Oh, so they start Tuesday? Women's basketball selection Sunday is.
So, okay, selection Sunday is March 17th. And
at 8 o'clock.
They start on the 20th and the 21st.
So, which is, well, so they're going to have a whole week off, basically.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
For their tournament. Because, like I said, all the big tournaments are over. The SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, all those, Pac-12, or
right.
2, however many people they have.
For the women, all of that is over. So you would think that they would gone ahead and had selection Sunday, like had their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're doing it right after.
They're sharing the spotlight with the.
Yeah, I think they do it right after the men or something. You know, even but the thing is that even if they play a week later, you you still get the opportunity to do your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
To have your own selection Sunday by yourself is just you. You know, you kind of help, you know, in the many ways grow the game that way. Because if you do it after the men's, well, then everybody is kind of like, you know, who wants to sit through 6 hours of that? Yeah, you know, I would, you know, but that kind of thing. So it seemed to me like they would have done it right after their conference tournaments, so they can have their, you know, have the spotlight on them.
The other thing, I mean, by waiting till the one thing I don't like about the men with the women and men playing together is, again, like you said, that you take away from the beauty, which is the women's game. I don't know if do they have the brackets like they have for the men?
Yeah, 64.
No, I'm talking about the bracket tournaments. They have a bracket tournament.
Mm-hmm. You talking about the conference tournaments?
No. Like, you know how we get the sheets and we fill out the sheets and see who's gonna win.
Oh yeah. The brackets.
Right. I've never done one of those.
Yeah, I've done women's brackets.
I think everybody will be doing it this year.
Yeah.
But you know something though, the thing about it though is if you look at, hold on, let me find it. All right,
dead air. Gotta find it.
Yeah, these finding that.
Can't have a dead air.
If you look at women's top 25,
okay,
right? In many ways, it's very. I can't necessarily say it's. My point is that the games aren't really going to get good until
the Sweet 16.
16.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, even though South Carolina is going to be missing a player, Cardozo, they're going to beat the brakes off of whoever they play in the first round. It don't matter. So it's like you won't really get the good teams playing the good teams. You're not going to get too many upsets in the first two rounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the women in many ways are still kind of predictable like the men used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the men are completely unpredictable. You know, where it used to be, you knew Carolina, Duke, you know, you knew which teams, Kentucky, you knew which teams were going to be in the Elite Eight and so on and so forth. That's kind of how the women's game kind of is still, to me.
True. I can agree with that. But
it
is getting there though. Say again.
Let me say one name. Malaysia Fulwiley. Oh man.
My God.
She was given Van Lith from LSU the blues. Oh man. Van Lith.
That girl is so flashy. Oh my God.
Oh, and she quick. And man, I was like, ooh.
And if you notice, a lot of her moves, you actually have to see the replay to appreciate them because she's so fast.
Yeah, man. Man. My goodness. That young lady. Oh man, bruh.
Since you brought that up, you actually brought up two things from that game. We might as well go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's
3.
The SEC championship game between South Carolina and LSU got a little, let's just say, heated.
A little chippy.
Yeah.
Little chippy.
Yeah, the temperature was a little hot.
For those that have not seen the replays, tell them what happened.
The malice in the SEC.
Yes.
Well, so it was South Carolina really kind of have been kind of controlling that game. You know, LSU kind of came back a little bit, but for the most part, when I picked it up, South Carolina was really controlling that game. And basically LSU got a little mad. And so what happened is it get a little heated because, you know, now it's a lot of talking that go on out there, right? And a lot of talking comes from LSU. Now I'll admit that the South Carolina player, I forgot her name. If I see it, I know it again. But she said something to Flau'jae.
Mm-hmm.
And then when another player came across her, Flau'jae gave her like a little forearm shiver, in the chest.
Yeah, she came out woofing at Flau'jae.
Right, and that was but Flau'jae didn't hit the one who was talking noise. It was the other one. It was another one, right? And so when Flau'jae hit her, or gave her the little forearm shiver, Cardozo came around and bang and knocked her straight down. I was like, ooh,
and she big. She's big.
She hit her, and it was like you could tell that's one of them offensive linemen. That's why they bench press to get that explosion, because that's just how she hit her. Bam! As soon as she hit her, she went straight to the floor. I was like, ooh.
Shoes in the air.
Man, bruh. That was a pancake if I ever saw one.
Calling Jeff Saturday.
So then Flau'jae jumps up like you gonna do something.
Because that girl is big.
And then here come her brother out the stands.
Stupid.
He's smaller than Flau'jae.
Stupid.
She gonna beat both of y'all up. But honestly, what were you gonna do?
What he did, nothing.
Honestly,
making himself look stupid, making the LSU team look stupid, because again, you jump out there. If you swing, if you was to swing at one of them girls, man, bruh, you get charged with assault, and
it would be curtains.
Yeah, you do. Now, as it is, he did get arrested for basically for storming the court.
Right.
So he did get arrested. I mean, for all that it is,
some kind of trespass or something. I think it was
trespass. Yeah.
Trespass. Yeah.
So, but again, the thought process that goes into this. When I looked at the replay, they had the little altercation right in front of the scorer's table.
Mm-hmm.
He jumps from the third row down onto the court, jumps across the scorer's table, and just stands there. And of course, as soon as he did, the police came and grabbed him and pulled him away. Like,
yeah, they were right on it.
But that's just so stupid.
What do you do? Exactly? What were you gonna do? Because you didn't jump across, you didn't push anybody, you didn't go grab your sister, you didn't do nothing. You just went and stood there and looked like
in the middle of the melee.
And like I say, I understand the instincts of a family member getting into an altercation. And so it should have been to the point where as soon as it happened, you get ready to go, and then you catch yourself like, oh yeah, I'm at a basketball game, and let that be that. But for him to jump over that and then jump over the scores table, I mean, by that time, all that should have kicked in, clicked in your head. Okay, wait a minute, this is a basketball game, and this is not a street fight. So let me calm down.
Right, and then okay, and so how can I say this?
How get us canceled?
To not get us canceled. Okay, I could understand if this was, because I think they from the hood, right? Mm-hmm. I think they are, from stuff, from stuff. I think her father is in prison or something of that nature, or had been in prison or something. Anyway, so they grew up like that. Okay, but I get that if this is one of them times where your sister is really, because y'all know how it is in the hood. The girls that learn how to hoop play with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if something happened and you get into an altercation because of your sister in one of them kind of games, and you run out there and you jump in front of somebody and you trying to save her, okay, I got it. But dude, you are at the SEC tournament. Your sister, and this is why I say I don't want to get canceled, is playing against other young women.
Mm-hmm.
They're not playing against other dudes. This is the SEC tournament. What did you really think was about to happen out there at this big tournament that's televised on national TV. And what made you think you were really about to do anything right at that moment? It's like, come on, man. It should have never crossed your mind. It should have been something, not even, and do say, you know, I understand the instinct of making you want to jump. No, it made me want to just, if I'm the brother, I'm just want to say, well, let me talk to my sister afterwards and find out what's happening. or let me talk to my sister afterwards and say,
well, look,
she pushed your ass hard.
But look, I know I would have jumped. And that other guy on the other side, he probably would have jumped over that front row before he caught himself, because you know how excited he gets.
Right.
Look at him.
But he wouldn't even went all the way to the court.
I'm not jumping on no court. I tell you that. And the dude said it earlier before we got on. You know, the thing is, if this was a junior high school game and something going like that, okay. Let me go out here and jump, because at that time, you know, your family, especially in the hood, your family's gonna come out there and help you.
That's what I'm saying. If King playing against Lansdowne,
exactly. She in college.
Yeah,
this is her second year, right? Second year.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, second year, and it's a nationally televised game.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's come to a number of her games. So you pretty much know what the routine is.
Right. But you know what it reminds me of?
And that ain't the first game that you went to where she almost got into it with somebody or got into it with somebody.
Maybe the first game she got trucked.
He reminds me of John Morant's dad that's looking to get the spotlight for himself. That's exactly what he was doing. He was trying to get the spotlight on himself. Well, guess what? You got it. Along with a mark on your record.
Felony.
You won.
Give me my money.
Anyway,
I won.
Let's not dwell on him any longer.
Idiot.
I lost.
Man, that was just stupid. But let's say all I can say is Caitlin Clark had four in the first half, 30 in the second half.
80. And one in overtime.
30.
Shoot it.
30.
And one in overtime.
I watched that USC Stanford game too.
Oh man,
USC put it on. I didn't realize USC was that good, but
your girl, it's the truth. What's her name? Oh, come on. What's the little girl from USC name? What's her name? Come on now. Come on.
It's I know it when I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, she is balling.
Juju Watkins.
Juju Watkins. Yep.
Man, that girl is balling, man. She got handles. She can pass. She defends.
She can definitely play. Rebound.
She is just a stone cold baller. Stone cold baller. She did one of those. Who was that? The Steph Curry.
Oh,
hurt her ankle. She came back. Played some more. Hurt her ankle again. Then came back again. I'm like, go ahead, girl. That's what I'm talking about. But that's what I said. The women's tournament gonna be lit this year, man. It's gonna be lit. It is going to be lit. Now the men
don't count out UConn either.
That's what I said. You still got UConn. You got Tennessee. There's other teams.
The old faithfuls.
There's other. I don't know what is Baylor doing this year, D?
In men's basketball?
No, in women.
I don't even think Baylor is 19th.
They're 19th. Okay, so there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance?
Not really.
Anyway. But anyway, we didn't put a topic in for the men, but the men's tournament, they're gonna have championship week this week and conference championships all week, to culminating with SEC and the Big Ten. No, SEC play on Saturday.
Man, my Lady Volunteers ain't even ranked.
I thought they were.
Nope.
Oh well, Lady Vols, they're out. But you got the tournaments all this week to determine the guaranteed spots. And then you have the at large bids to get to our field of 68 for next Sunday. So we'll talk about that next week. Because like we said earlier, I haven't really watched a whole lot of men's basketballs.
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk about it. Other than I tried to watch
the men's basketball game.
I tried to watch Duke, North Carolina this past week, weekend, but the game was just so, it's just Duke and North Carolina. They don't have the best talent anymore, which makes the other teams, a little bit more competitive, which makes the tournament a little bit more competitive. So let's just go with that.
Which about the men? What happened with the men hasn't happened with the women, and that was kind of the point that I was making earlier. Is that what has happened with the men is one. This is something kind of we were talking about. Don said something. Shout out to Don Rice. Sean said something. Don said something in the other chat that we're in about this. But what's happened with the men is that you got the one and dones. Mm-hmm. So the teams that are now winning in the tournament are the ones that have the juniors and the seniors.
Mm-hmm. A la Baylor.
The one and dones don't play very well. Don't do very well in the tournament because most of them don't really haven't played together long enough.
Yeah, the inexperienced.
Right. But what has happened is that what happened for the men's game is ESPN, right? In terms of ESPN filled a lot of its time early on by showing, again, the Big East, the Big West, the Mountain West. I used to watch all them games in basketball. So people cats started seeing that you could go other places and get a chance to play and get a chance to be on TV. You didn't have to be somebody that only got to Carolina to get on TV or one of the schools on TV. I could get to Western Kentucky and get a chance to play and make it to the tournament and get a chance to play on TV. And these one and dones was going to the Blue Bloods because, of course, they're the ones with the money. But other cats was going other places and they staying and they playing 3-4 years. So by the time they get to a tournament, they running these young boys to death. That's what it says to me. But that hasn't really happened in women's basketball in the same way. That you still got those that have dominated women's basketball in the 80s and 90s when I started watching are still dominating women's basketball. Those same schools. Whereas it's a little bit different in the men's game.
So the difference in the men's and the women, and we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago. The women, you have to stay for 3 years. If you go, you can't go pro.
Oh Lord, I hope we're not about to go back into that.
With the men, they, like you just said, they got that one and done, which doesn't allow the teams to gel and get better. So that's why I said what I said a couple weeks ago. I'm not gonna go back and say no else.
Yeah, please don't.
I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. But that's you just solidified my point from 2 weeks ago. Let's move on.
No, I didn't. I in no way solidified your point. No, I did not.
That's what you just said.
Because your point essentially, all it does is make the Blue Bloods better.
No, it
doesn't, huh? Because that's where those kids are going. You're talking about the group of kids that you're talking about are lottery picks.
Mm-hmm.
That it's different. The women's game is different. So no, I don't agree with your stupid rule of making them go to college and make them pay. If the women's game allowed them to, if the women were allowed to go to the NBA after 1 year, if they want to go one and done, go right ahead. I would have no problem with that at all. That would not bother me in any way, shape, or form. But then you would still end up with the same kind of thing in women's basketball that you would in men's. Is that the ones that stayed, that played together the most, they would be the teams that would win when it comes to tournament time. It would still be the same thing.
I tried to get it out, bro. I'm not gonna argue with you.
No.
Listen, you just agree with me. Just
no,
let me know.
No, I did not. No, I did not. I ain't no way.
We all know that's a lie.
I did not agree with you. I disagree with the fact that I agreed with you. So no. No.
Anyway, so that's what we're looking forward to for this week. It's the men's basketball, the women's basketball tournament. It's March. Let's get it on. We'll have our brackets up. Why? I don't know, but we're gonna do them again this year.
We're gonna do a great job this year. Our predictions are, they're gonna be stellar.
Do them again this year.
They will definitely be stellar this year.
Why has speaking of Don Rice? Why has his son, my nephew Devin, I call him DMC? Why has he won the our bracket challenge with all my frat brothers and everybody? He has won the last like 3 or 4 years in a row. From like the time he was 10 years old, he was beating us. He literally told Don, we said something about the bracket challenge, and he said, tell Uncle Dorian I'm retired. I'm tired of beating y'all. I said, oh no, you won't. I said, you bring your butt back out. You will play this bracket, whether you like it or not. You can't quit when we gotta beat you.
You can't quit.
You gotta play till you lose.
That's the rule, man. That's the rule.
Devin is a baller too. He plays. He's freshman. He made it up to varsity at Cardinal Ritter.
Oh, that's what's up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He get the garbage time, but still he a freshman. At Cardinal Ritter. So
next year he'll be on the side, and then the big bucks start coming in.
Right. Shout out to my nephew. Shout out to DMC.
So, from DMC to Bieniemy, y'all like that transition?
No, I disagree with that too.
Not particularly.
So, there's a trend that's starting to go around now lately, fellas, and that's these coaches that are taking offensive coordinator positions. Last week we had Chip Kelly leaving his head coaching job at UCLA, going to where he go? Ohio State to become their offensive coordinator. So he left a head coaching job in the NCAA for offensive coordinator position in the NCAA. Now this week we have Eric Bieniemy, who was quote unquote on the fast track to become a head coach.
Was he really on the fast track?
Yes, it ain't that fast because he was passed over like 4 years in a row.
What do you call it? What they say, he was on the right train but the wrong track.
Right. Was he?
So maybe wasn't a fast track. Maybe wasn't a fast track, but he was on track.
He was on a track.
Right.
He was on a train. He was on a train. Just don't know where he was going. But this time the train ended up he's a new offense coordinator at the aforementioned UCLA. So he's leaving the OC job in Washington in the NFL, going to take an OC job in the NCAA. So D, what do you think about that transition for Bieniemy?
Well, I think for me it says he was like, I'm tired of this shit. I think that's what it says. That he was like, look, and what it also means is I think there have probably been some colleges that have kind of been after him for a minute, but he was like, he wanted to see how this NFL coaching thing was going to play out. But I think at a certain point, I think the fact that he went to be a OC, I think is very interesting. I thought different if he had gone to be a head coach. But maybe at a certain point he's been promised head coach.
Not at UCLA.
You know,
they got the young brother at UCLA.
What's the relationship between him and Bieniemy? And then also, what's the paycheck like?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Him, yeah.
And well, if okay, so UCLA is going to be what in the Big Ten now?
Big Ten, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Now that I think about that, that makes it even more interesting. If they were still going to be in the Pac-12 or whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry. UCLA did not hire a brother. They hired Deshaun Foster. No, he's a brother. I'm tripping.
I was going to say Deshaun Foster is a brother.
Yeah, it is a brother. They got this picture.
His name's Deshaun. That should have told
me. They have this picture of this non-brother.
Right there. He was a brother. Deshaun. Okay.
They have this non-brother picture up here. I'm like, wait a minute. That ain't Deshaun Foster. But yeah, Deshaun Foster.
You can have white dudes named Deshaun.
Really?
Yeah, you can.
You can.
You can.
I just don't know any.
Because they call him D all the time.
Where they at? Trying to get so they're trying to poach a quarterback from SMU.
Yeah, I'll say, you know, I don't know. Now it just really seems like now I'm really just kind of confused by the move. In that sense, or again, maybe he just thinks he'll be able to fare better in college and maybe get a head coaching job in college. Maybe, you know, he wants to do it that way now. Maybe.
Well, so the thing is, he didn't have a whole lot of NFL teams knocking his door down trying to hire him. The new coaching hires for this year didn't really want any part of Bieniemy. So he was going to have to, if he stayed in the NFL, more than likely he was going to be like a position coach, which is a big time demotion for him.
Right. When you right.
So the NFL they weren't clamoring for his services.
Yeah. So when the opportunity came, and the thing about it, UCLA didn't really have that great of a season last year. I think they were 5-8. Is that where they were?
Yeah, no, they weren't that great. Did they? No, I think they might have been better than 5-8, weren't they? But I'll look up.
Let me see. UCLA was. Hold on, let me check. Sorry, people. We have
oh man, they know we looking up stuff.
Right, I was wondering at first.
Yeah, they were overall they were 8-5.
8-5. Okay. He's wondering what it is?
I thought that was your hair, man. I was like, Roddy got the same hairstyle he had back in like 84.
Yeah, so they were 8-5, not 5-8. So they had a pretty decent. I mean, that's a decent season. They went to a bowl, I'm assuming. Well, they had, you know.
Yeah.
I know they went to a bowl. They finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th in the Pac-12. Now Pac-2.
To the Hormel Ground Beef Bowl.
They were 4-5 in the Pac-12. And they finished the season off. It doesn't show. Nope, that's 2020. This is next year.
Yeah,
they finished the season off against Boise State.
But they finished below. But they finished below the other teams that are coming into the Big Ten with them next year.
Yeah.
So plus you still got Ohio State and Michigan, and so again, now that I think about it, it's just even more interesting that one, he didn't go to college. Not the fact that he went to college, but the fact that he didn't go to college as a head coach. And then that you go there as a offensive coordinator for a team that finished 7th. Well, tied for 4th, really, because it's like 4 teams with the same record, but tied for 4th in the Pac-12, and then all the teams above you most of the teams above you are coming into the same conference, so you couldn't beat them then. So how you gonna beat them now? And then you add to that the fact that you got to play Michigan, the fact that you got to play Ohio State, the fact that you got to play Penn State. So I don't know. Now it it seems a little more interesting.
So you don't think that this move is going to increase his probability of becoming a head coach in the NFL?
Unless they win the Big Ten.
So next year, let's look at UCLA's schedule. They start the season off August 31st against Hawaii in Hawaii. Then they play their first Big Ten team, first Big Ten game against Indiana. Then they play LSU. So let's say they start off 2-0. They losing to LSU because it's in Death Valley. Then they play Oregon at home. Then they play Penn State on the road. Minnesota at home. Rutgers on the road. Nebraska on the road. Iowa at home. Washington on the road. USC at home. And then end the season off with Fresno State. So LSU, Oregon, and Washington, they pretty much have losses. Guaranteed. So they bypass Michigan, Ohio State. They do play Penn State in Happy Valley. That's not gonna be pretty.
That's not gonna be an easy game.
Yeah, it's not gonna be pretty. So unless he comes in and somehow they find a Pat Mahomes to quarterback UCLA, I don't see Bieniemy having more success, a lot more success than he had in Washington, basically.
No, the money must have been good. That's all I can say.
Now let's see that. Let me see that.
He wish he eat some Funyuns.
Somebody in the future, I hope to be our sponsor. Grippos.
Oh,
Grippos,
wow.
Chippos.
Oh, wow. So, let me see.
Grippos, Chippos. Sponsored by.
All right.
All right, so.
Hold on. Let me get this here. So, what was his contract, man? Show me this contract. Okay, here we go. Da-da-da. He signed a 2-year deal with Washington. Oh, so Washington still got to pay him this year. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they didn't discuss the amount. I don't see any article. It just says multi-year contract. He signed a 2-year deal with the Commanders. I'm assuming it was for at least $1 million because that's mainly what it's probably most office coordinators make, like $2 million. Well, let's just say for the sake of argument, say it was $1 million. Well, his UCLA contract is only for $550. So, yeah, I think that's a little bit of a drop in pay. So, yeah. But maybe, he's not in it for the money. So, we going. I mean, I want the brother to have success. I hope UCLA wins, except when they play Illinois. But they don't play Illinois this year, so.
Right. Or Ohio State. Or Michigan.
Yeah,
I want to beat Michigan, so.
See, I was waiting for that one.
Yep.
I was waiting for that Anyway, all right. So that's our NCAA football for the week. But there's a story that that actually encompasses NCAA basketball and NCAA football. You don't really see this in pro sports. I don't remember it. Well, other in American pro sports, you don't see that. You don't see the barnstorming the Cleveland Cavaliers court. You just don't see that.
They used to. You remember them old clips of when Boston was winning the championship and when,
I remember Lakers
when they win the World Series or whatever, everybody ran out there on the court.
Yeah, I remember Lakers when they won in the Boston Garden and Larry Bird was like forearming everybody to get out of the way.
Trying to get out the way.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, the Celtics won, I guess.
Right.
But the question is, should court storming or field storming be banned?
Yes.
Doran?
Yes.
Simple answer.
Man. They're gonna hurt somebody. It's real simple. And the thing is that what also will end up happening too is that not even necessarily just the players, but also the fans running on the court. And this is what I mean by this. Like when who was that stormed the court the other day when Filipowski from Duke got hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing about it was, even though he got hurt, right before that, you could see him elbow somebody, right? Well, the thing was, and I'm not saying that he elbowed them trying to hurt them, but somebody is running at you. You don't know what they finna do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he was trying to keep folks back or whatever. He elbowed somebody real good, and then somebody clipped him and end up hurting his ankle.
It's neat.
But the fans gonna get hurt like that too. I think about being born and raised, being born in Cincinnati. One of the big things that happened was at the Who concert when I was younger. When all those people got trampled, trying to, and the fence gave way, and then people just got trampled and ran over, and all them people died. So it's just way too dangerous.
Yeah, I agree with D. It's definitely a safety hazard. And like I said, with the world, I mean, it was bad back then, like D was talking about with the, trampling and all that. But I mean, with the world being like it is now, not saying that it'll be like a mass shooter but it could be a crazed fan running the court, somebody with maybe a knife or something. So you open yourself up to a whole bunch of lawsuits as well. Mm-hmm. So, fans getting hurt or athletes getting hurt. And it's definitely overdue. It should be banned.
I mean, there's really there's no need to have it. It serves no purpose.
No.
And I've heard some of the pundits, quote unquote, that get on and talk about how it's a rite of passage in the college game and they should leave it, blah blah blah. Because again, you don't really see that in the pro game. But the thing of the problem is, you can say that now, it's just for fun. They just having fun. Them just kids having fun until something happens and one of them get killed, or one of them get hurt or whatever. Then that's what, we need to stop this, blah, 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 blah. Well, somebody did get hurt. Filipowski got hurt,
And why wait till it even gets to that, that point or,
exactly. Because there's
a tragedy.
There's zero reason for doing it. It serves no purpose. No, man. Actually, it serves a purpose for ESPN because they have these wonderful footage of all these fans rushing onto the court or to the field. That's the only purpose that this thing serves. But as far as the universities, it doesn't do the university any good because guess what? If somebody gets hurt, who's gonna be the first one to get they blame?
Yeah, the fans are gonna blame the fans.
They're gonna blame it on
the university. Gonna get sued. They're
institutional control. I remember when I went, my nephew Drake, shout out to Drake, played football at Kansas, and I used to go to games, and I forgot who they beat. Was it Kansas State Oklahoma came back and beat them. I had to go to that Oklahoma game. But Oklahoma came back and beat them. Kansas was beating them. This is when Charlie Weiss was the head coach. But I went and I forgot who it was either Oklahoma that they beat or Kansas State. And everybody just started rushing the field. And if you could see how many of them kids was falling and flipping, trying to get over the wall and flipping over the wall and all this kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, it was just crazy.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah. So what happened to Rod? Did we lose him?
Is he frozen or is he stroking out like is he pulling Mitch McConnell?
Right.
I guess we shouldn't be laughing. But it's funny when you look at him. Yo, Mr. McConnell. Mr. McConnell.
That's terrible.
Well, there goes Mitch.
We'll see. He'll
right along.
Right, he'll be joining us again soon. Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. So, I wonder what he has to say about what he would have to say about this. But no, stadium free agency. This came about because of a conversation, and I don't even necessarily know if there's really an opinion about it, like a right or wrong or anything of that nature. But Rodney was driving down to Alabama, and he was riding through Cincinnati, and he was like, "Oh, I'm passing up. What is the Bengal Stadium now? Let me see.
Man, I can barely remember any of the stadiums now. They've changed so much.
What did he call it? It was called Paycor Stadium. He was like, "Yeah, I'm passing up Paycor now," and I was like, "Paycor?" And I was like, "You mean Paul Brown?" And he was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Wow, that they renamed the stadium, Paycor," and it's just interesting how you see these stadiums basically give themselves to the highest bidder. It's really free agency.
Yeah,
it's like
definitely
pay the most. That's what we're going to name our stadium. So you have all of these name changes that are happening every year with these stadiums. I just find it very interesting that we're seeing the same thing with stadiums as we are with the players.
Bro, why did my computer just shut off?
Oh man, we were clowning you. We said you were looking like Mitch McConnell up there. You froze up.
my computer just straight shut off and restarted.
Hey, wait till you see the playback on that one. He's like Mr. McConnell. Mr. McConnell. So I hope we don't get canceled for
You talk about people with issues, with health issues.
Get canceled for Rodney getting canceled.
Man, it just straight up froze on me.
Yeah, you froze on us.
Right. Rather quickly, too.
And talking about the little Apple sign popped up. It's like, wow. All right, I just heard y'all talk about the stadium free agency.
No, yeah, like I said, I didn't really have an opinion. I don't think that there's a right or wrong to it. I just found it interesting that every year, almost like we see these players change teams, we're seeing the names of these stadiums change.
Yeah, that's just the way it is.
And the reason for that is you have a lot of companies that close or sell or what have you, and when they close and when they sell, they want to get rid of them liabilities that they have with these stadium naming rights. Same thing you had with Staples. When Staples closed, they went to crypto.com, which they'll probably be gone soon.
Very soon, yeah.
So, but the stadiums, they just going for the bucks, man. I don't care what you name the stadium. Whatever. It is what it is. But you have some stadiums that, like Yankee Stadium, will always be Yankee Stadium. But now it's like Yankee Stadium presented by whoever.
Pips featuring Gladys Knight.
Yeah. So, but that's what it is. It's Yankee Stadium presented by somebody. Hold on. Yankee. Oh, shoot. Now I got to turn my Chrome back on.
I was thinking about that when we went to the game in Indianapolis. Remember, it used to be called Market Square Arena.
Yeah. And it was called something else. It wasn't called the whatever field house.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I went, the Gainer Field House. It was something else.
Yeah,
it was Gainer. It was Gainer.
It was Market. I think it was Market Square when they were like torching the Knicks in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, that's when.
But I don't think it was.
That was the old stadium. That was the old stadium, dude.
Yeah, Market Square is a different spot.
Yeah, they had a new one. It was something Field House. It wasn't the Boehner Field House, but it was a different Field House. But it was still Field House. But you had AT&T Stadium.
It looked like it's just called Yankee Stadium.
It is. Well, I thought they had a presented by whatever. But you have, like I said, you got like Fenway will always be Fenway.
Okay, at the time it was called Bankers Life.
Yeah, that's it.
Bankers Life Field.
It was Bankers Field House.
Yeah,
Bankers Life Field House.
Now it's called Gamebridge. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, like I said, you can have Fenway. There's going to be Fenway. What do they call the Cardinal Stadium now? Is it still Bush?
I thought it was still Bush.
Yeah, I thought it was still Bush.
Mm-hmm. Or something to do with Valley.
Yeah, it's still Bush. That's a name that's just too iconic to change.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, 5 more seasons. They said the Cardinals and Anheuser-Busch agreed to extend the naming rights to Busch Stadium for 5 more seasons. That was in December 23. So to 28. It's going to be Busch Stadium to at least 28.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I mean, that's the naming rights thing is actually it's just like the bowl games. It just be some random names.
Right.
It's the companies that decide, we got $5 million that we want to spend on advertising, so let's put our name on the stadium.
Yep.
Because if I trust me, let me go ahead and get this lottery ticket. Let me win this lottery, and I'm changing the Cowboys Stadium name to Rod Field. I'll pay $20 million. Only for 1 year though, but I pay $20 million. Yeah, we're gonna put the Cowboys when we playing at Rod Field. Go. But it's an interesting little thing to talk about.
For sure.
Let me change it. And the thing is, where they really get a lot of money is when they get new stadiums.
Yeah.
That's when companies really pay. Like I'm looking forward to seeing what they name the stadiums in Las Vegas with the new baseball team.
Mm-hmm. They just stole all Oakland stuff.
Yeah, well,
Did it?
It's your fault. All right. Speaking of free agency.
Well, actually, you know something? Speaking of free agency, because this might not take as long.
Okay.
I don't understand. Okay, this is what I don't get. It's not that I don't understand the franchise tag. But how do you turn down $21 million or whatever it is, whatever the friend at your particular position.
How do you 21?
How do you turn that down? Guaranteed. Often because even okay, now I understand the idea of wanting a 3-year deal or whatever, but sometimes the guaranteed money that you get was what the franchise tag was, and you could have got that in 1 year instead of over 3. So I just don't. Like I say, I hear them talk about the long-term security, whatever, not. I feel like that most teams are franchising you, trying to keep you, but also at some point they're really trying to figure out how they can work some type of long-term deal with you. Or else if they didn't think you were important enough, they wouldn't franchise you. So I don't know. I just can't see myself turning down the money.
So there's the player that utilized the franchise tag better than any player has ever done in the history of the NFL. And that player just signed another contract today, and that's Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, when he was with Washington franchised him. They had just lost RG3, and Kirk Cousins came in and took over. They wanted him to. He did okay, but they didn't want to give him a long-term contract. They wanted him to prove it again. So Kirk Cousins could have said, okay, I'm going to, I don't want to play on this franchise tag. I'm going to hold out, blah, blah, blah. But he did what D is talking about. Go get that guaranteed money. So he got that guaranteed money, had a good season. He was eligible to leave again. He was a free agent. And if Washington wanted to keep him, they had to franchise him again. And guess what? So now instead of the top 5, he gets the top 3. So his contract went up even more. So then at the end of that second franchise, and he made in 2 years, he made like $60 million guaranteed in 2 years. Right? So then Washington didn't want to franchise him a third time. So he was free to go sign with anybody. What did he do? He went and signed with Minnesota. And Minnesota gave him a guarantee. He's one of the first players to get a fully guaranteed contract. Guaranteed his money for 3 years. Why 3 years? Because he wanted to be able to hit free agency one more time. So when the 3 years are up, guess what Minnesota did? Gave him another guaranteed contract for another 3 years. He had to opt out after 2. So after 2 years, he opted out. And now Minnesota was bidding for him. But Atlanta came in with a crazy contract offer, gave him, 4 years, $180 million with $90 million guaranteed. So this man has made almost $400 million in his career, and he was like a 4th round draft pick, 5th round draft pick, something crazy. And the thing is, he's never won anything. Don't get me wrong, he's a good quarterback. But he's never won anything except the game. He won this game. He won the franchise tag game better than anybody else has ever done. And the thing is, again, like you say, D, they get a little upset because they want that long-term guaranteed contract. No, just go ahead and pay me $30 million a year.
He's a 4th round pick.
He's a 4th round pick. Yeah, go ahead and pay me that $30 million a year. I'm good. T. Higgins, D receiver in Cincinnati. He wants to be traded because he doesn't want to work for $21 million in 1 year. Come on, bro. That makes no sense. Get that $21 million.
And take that money and go from there.
The problem is players don't want to bet on themselves. They want, and I understand you want that security. I understand that. But when you're looking at $20 million guaranteed today for 1 year, or $30 million guaranteed over 5 years, I'd rather take the $20 million and then become a free agent the next year, right? And get my point. So, I'm with you, dude. I don't see why players don't happily accept that franchise tag. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Try to get that long-term contract.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not there, if the teams can't agree, if the team doesn't want to pay you as much as you think you should be paid, all right, cool. Let me get that $20 million.
Thank you.
Let me get that 20, and then we'll come back next year and we'll look at this again, right? Because I know next year I'm gonna play better than I did this year, so you're gonna have to pay me even more.
Right. Somebody gonna give me that money. Right.
Somebody gonna pay me that money. And you look at it, especially like running backs. You look at what your boy Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
He just signed with Philly. He got $26 million guaranteed. Which is 2 years of a franchise tag, which is what you would have got with the Giants in the first place.
In the first place, right? But he got a better chance of winning with Philly. Probably
does. So, but in other NFL, we already talked about Kirk Cousins and his monster deal. You had
Russ
going to from not San Diego anymore. The Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers.
So Eckler
went to the Commanders. What he
up there with Lionel Richie.
Commodores.
Right, he going to play on the night shift.
He out there with Lionel Richie.
Jackie.
Mm-hmm. So he went to Commanders. Yeah, Saquon go to Philly from the Giants.
That's a good move.
You had
that's a great move.
It was a big trade. Brian Burns got traded from Carolina, who Carolina's gonna suck. So they didn't see a need to pay the pass rusher $180 million, which is what he got in was it 100? It was 100 or something. What he got, Brian Burns, when they traded him to the Giants, 150. He got 150 million, which is
he got $150 million extension.
88 million guaranteed. Which he was on a franchise tag making 30. So he came up, $50 million. So it was a good move by him. But he took the franchise tag because he had to sign a franchise tag in order for him to trade him. But you had a lot of movement in the free agency and through trades, because today was the first day of legal tampering, which is the stupidest thing ever. I don't understand legal tampering, but today was the first day. You had the Lions trade for quarterback from the Saints.
Russ.
You had Russell Wilson. Play Westbrook again. I always call him Westbrook. But Russell Wilson going from Denver to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now that's one. And again, you can't really listen to what the quote unquote pundits, what they always want to say. Are
we pundits?
He needs to go there. Nah, we haven't made the pundit status yet.
We made it to pundit status.
We ain't made it to the pundit status yet.
I was just wondering if we were considered pundits.
Well, we trending that way, dudes.
Oh, okay.
We trending that way.
We pundit-ish.
Yeah, we
pun some shit.
We my pundits.
We punished. We've been punished.
So, but you had, they were always talking about, Pittsburgh need to get your boy from Chicago, Justin Fields. They got to get Justin Fields, right? He's the best player for him. If they don't get Justin Fields, it's a mistake. If they don't get Justin Fields, it's a mistake. Then they go out and sign Russell Wilson. Oh, that was the best thing for them. That's a great move. So
they got to.
You said what?
They got to do that for television.
All for the TV, man. We doing it for the clicks.
We doing it for the truth. We tell the truth here. TROOF.
That's right.
Well,
the truth is, my lousy Cowboys. You know, Jerry Jones, man, he need to stop talking.
That's been a truth for a long time. The lousy Cowboy.
Jerry Jones need to stop talking, man. After the debacle, which was the Green Bay game, you know, you come out after the season and talking about this year we're all in. We're going all out. We winning the championship.
Dallas is gonna win every year.
We 12 hours into free agency, and Dallas has yet to make a move. We lost the running back that we did have. He signed with the Texans. We lost a guard. We lost a couple of defensive players. We ain't gained jack, but we all in. Jerry, what does all in mean? Please explain this to me. Because when my vision of all in means, I'm gonna pushing all my chips to the middle of the table because I want to win right now. Either I'm gonna win it, either I'm gonna get the players that I need and we gonna win, or we gonna lose, but we gonna try.
I feel a Dallas Cowboys soliloquy coming on.
Man, I'm pulling out my tiny violin.
Shut it up.
I tell you what all in means to me. Nothing. I don't care. I don't care. I could care less about Dallas and what all in means in Dallas. I really could. I don't care about the Cowboys. Every year, y'all all think y'all gonna go to the Super Bowl and
every year.
This little piggy, he left,
and then they're like very disappointed, like they really thought they were going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like they really. I mean, it's like, come on, stop. It's such a delusion. So, but you know, we forgot to talk about how Josh Jacobs went to the Packers.
He went to the Packers. They released Aaron Jones,
and then they released Aaron Jones, which is interesting. We'll take him. Come on down to Cincy.
That's kind of.
He might end up in San Diego.
That's the big move by them, man, because Green Bay, Green Bay, everybody was fussing, complaining about Green Bay about how they were doing Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay treating him wrong, they need to do this, they need to do that, blah, blah, blah. Green Bay was better last year than they were 3 years prior. And if now, mind you,
they beat the Cowboys in the playoffs,
and they demolished my Cowboys in the playoffs. Am I stuck again? Oh,
no,
okay.
You moving? No, you all right?
Y'all stuck.
No,
we stuck. Look at me moving.
Ain't nobody moving. Like, oh Lord, it's cutting off on me again. But if you now, Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. D, you and I can both attest to that. He is a great quarterback. But Aaron Rodgers only has one. Oh Lord. Oh,
one what?
D, you keep freezing up, man.
I'm not freezing up. How am I freezing up and I'm chewing?
On my camera, you're freezing up.
Yeah, D, you are freezing
up. You ain't chewing nothing. Now and you look at your mouth.
I'm sitting here looking at myself chew.
Your mouth.
You did kind of look like you stroked out for a minute in the middle of your chew.
You just keep freezing. So anyway, but he only has one championship, man. I don't know. Did he go to the Super Bowl and lose, or he just went to the one Super Bowl?
He went to the one he won. That was it.
And that's it. So I don't. Well, I ain't gonna keep talking about AA Ron. We're gonna see what he does this year. But AA Ron is working on his legacy, and the more Green Bay wins without him, to me, takes away from their legacy, which just says, maybe it wasn't just you, AA Ron. So
can we stop talking about Dallas now?
No, we're gonna keep talking about Dallas. We're gonna keep talking about Dallas. All right, we done talking about Dallas.
Dallas not going to be able to do it right. Sorry.
We done talking about Dallas, man.
But they're all in.
It's just upsetting.
We're supposed to be done talking about Dallas. No, and here you go again, trying to slip that shit in at the tail
end.
All I'm saying is we're moving on to talk about something else. We're not talking about Dallas anymore.
Hey, it ain't upsetting us.
It's the Lucy and the football, man. You put the football there. you set me up talking about come kick it. We get ready to kick it and you just yank it away from me. He do it every year. He tell us, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And he just yank my heart away from you, man.
You tell us they're gonna do this and do that every year.
Right. Shut up.
It ain't just him.
I'm just saying. All the Cowboy fans.
Every year.
So basically, you're an extension of Jerry Jones.
Shut up, dudes. Just shut it up, dudes. Just shut it up. Dude said, don't feel right.
Like, bro, this don't feel right.
All right. What also don't feel right, man, is fourth quarter Boston Celtics and Dude's boy, man. Dude's, what is up with Jason Tatum?
Oh man, I don't know what to say about JT, our homeboy.
That's my boy, man.
Yeah, for some reason, it seems like in clutch situations, man, he folds. I don't know what it is. You know, it kind of reminds me a lot of I think about the Celtics in general. Reminds me of the Portland Trail Blazers. You know, like 90, 91, 92. You know, against the Pistons and the Bulls. And I think Chuck Daly for the Pistons, when they played them in the finals, you know, they showed like a clip of the on the sidelines, and Chuck Daly was telling the Pistons, just keep the game close. They're going to blow it at the end. Just keep it close. They're going to blow it. Just stay in the game. They're going to blow it. And they would do it. And so now when I see the Celtics in close games, I think about that same thing. It's like, if it gets close, they're going to blow it. Now, granted, this year they've been blowing everybody out, so it really hasn't been, you know, as much of a factor. But the games that have been close, yeah. And then also, you know, being if you're going to be the franchise player, the star player, I mean, you got to motivate your team to win those games that you're supposed to win. So when they play against lesser talent, like the game where they played against Cavs with no Donovan Mitchell and, you know, the stars are out, it's like clockwork. You can guarantee that Boston's going to let up and lose the game. You know, they're not going to, you know, they're going to play down to the competition and lose. And I don't know. I don't see the clutch gene. I mean, he's a good player, you know, but I just don't see that clutch gene to, you know, make him great.
The problem that a lot of the young players have, man, is they all want to be Mike, but they ain't nowhere close to being Mike, and they shy away from it. Like LeBron, when LeBron first came in, LeBron shied away from that clutch part. It's not a lot of Kobe's out there, and most of them don't. They have a fear of failure. They don't like taking that last shot because if they lose, then they know the first story on ESPN, well, you missed this shot.
But you know, another thing I noticed, I was talking to my son Isaiah the other day, and I was, you know, I was telling him,
"What up, Zeke?"
Most of these guys, they, you know, they practice so much with their individual, you know, coaches, you know, training coaches or whatever, and you know, they practice all their skills. So you know, they have all the skills, the shooting, ball handling, and you know, all those drills. They got all those skills down pat, which is Jason Tatum. Man. He has all the skills. But they don't know where and when to implement those skills. And the clutch is when it really shows. You know, he doesn't know when to drive. He doesn't know when to shoot the three. He doesn't know when to pass or when to pick the ball up. But he has all the skills. He just don't know when to implement them. And it rears his ugly head in the clutch.
So whose fault is that? Is that his fault or is that coach's fault?
I saw something to speak to that. I saw something. I don't know who said this. You know, it might have been Gilbert Arenas. But somebody was like, you can tell that they all have the same trainers.
Yeah.
That they all have a series of moves that they do, that they've been taught to do.
Like robots almost.
Yeah, because I want to say, I think it was in the same conversation where they were talking about Kyrie, or it was something Iman Shumpert said about Kyrie. And I might be mixing up things that I saw. But one of the things that they said about Kyrie is that Kyrie adapts to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if Kyrie says, okay, I'm going right, and then you go right, well, he reacts to what you're doing.
Yeah, he has plenty of counters.
Yeah. Whereas they were saying that you can tell that these players come down and it's like, okay, cross, behind the back, go to the left.
Yeah, I'm doing this move. Yeah,
I'm doing this move. This is the move that I'm coming down and doing. And so they
no matter what,
same thing. You know, so that's what I see a lot of. Because I would, who was it that I was watching? It might have been Ant-Man. He did a crossover and he crossed dude, and dude went the other way.
He kept crossing.
Instead of driving, he now had another move that he had to do. And once he did that other move, dude was already right there to play defense. And it was like, why didn't you just go? You know, you had him go. But it's like they have this series of moves that they just have to do.
Oh, yeah. And I saw with Tatum when they played the Golden State Warriors, you know, when he had that bad series, you know, he'd get the ball on the wing or whatever. And instead of, you know, driving and, you know, mixing it up, you know, shoot a three here, drive here. It's like Golden State knew what he was going to do. He's going to get the ball. He's going to do a series of crossovers and then a step back three. And they'd be like right on him, like step for step. And it's like he's baffled, like, you know, how do they know what I'm going to do?
Right.
It's doing the same thing every time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to mix it up. I mean, something in your mind should say, okay, the next 4 plays I'm driving.
Right.
Okay, and that would open up that 3-pointer.
They're not natural scorers.
Yeah.
Nobody drives to the hole though.
Man, hardly ever.
Yeah, it's like everybody's programmed, like you said, it's like a robot.
Yeah, nobody. Tatum's biggest issue, man, is when they play against the top-notch teams, man. He never shows up.
Oh yeah.
I just it amazes me. I can't.
But then you have to look at it. Most of the top-notch teams do their homework and they prepare and they know what you're going to do. So that's what it is. And like I said, what I fear is, you know, we're blowing all these teams out, but you know, a lot of these teams are bad teams that we're blowing out.
Right.
And so, you know, that's not necessarily who you're going to see in the playoffs.
Right.
No, actually, you're not going to see them in the playoffs. You're going to see the quality teams. So hopefully we can get to the finals and we'll figure it out.
Does Brown have it, dudes?
Brown seems to play better in clutch situations. Brown's only issue is that left hand dribble. You know, he for some reason he kicks it off his shoe. I don't know what's going on. It's like a magnet with the ball in his shoe, his left hand in the shoe or something. I don't know what's going on with that. But as far as stepping up, yeah, Brown normally plays good in big games. He played good in that finals with Golden State. He's been playing good the last couple of games here. So, yeah,
what about this dude right here? What about Luka?
I thought Luka was spelled with K. Is that George Lucas that did Star Wars?
That's Lucas. That's Lucas. We talking.
But you mean Luka Doncic? Luka Doncic.
I don't know who that is. What we talking about?
Lucas.
Look, man. I'm
okay,
tired.
what was the question with Lucas? I mean, Luka.
I'm tired. There. Show it.
There you go.
So, Luka, not Lucas. Luka.
Hi, Lucas.
Has a streak of, what is that, 8 games now?
6 30-point triple doubles.
30-point triple doubles in 8 straight games.
Mm-hmm.
In an NBA record now, he passed Russell Westbrook. He passed his record. And what is Dallas in those last 8 games? What's their record? Let me see. Dallas Mavericks. There we go. Dallas Mavericks. They are. Here we go. Where are the scores?
They're 5-5 in the last 10.
So they 4-4 in the last 8. 5-5 in the last 10. They had a 3-game lose. So in the 8 games that he's got 8 straight 30-point triple doubles, they lost the first one to Cleveland. They won against the Raptors. They lost against Dude's team, the Celtics. Lost against the Phillies. The Sixers lost against the Pacers. But then they won against the Heat, the Pistons, and the Bulls.
Mm.
So the only team really that they beat of any substance was the Heat.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you make of Luka and his 30-point triple-double streak, Doran?
Empty. I think it's empty.
Just like the Harden and Westbrook stats.
That's like Harden and Westbrook, with the triple doubles, it was great, but it was really empty. As somebody who, along with 2 other people who shall remain nameless, watched him play against the Indiana Pacers. He don't pass the damn ball.
Unless you can get assist out of it. That's the only way.
Right. It's like, right. I mean,
that's at 20 steps with 20 seconds off the clock already, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he's only passing the ball when he's triple teamed, and then he can hurry up and make a pass, with that kind of stuff. And the
only
thing
when
is,
he exhausts all his scoring options.
Right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's the best way to put that. Thank you. That's the best way to put that. Because it's not passing to make offense for anyone else. It's not passing to make the team better.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, it was crazy to watch him just completely dominate the ball and not ever give it up unless he was completely forced to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really don't see Dallas really doing anything in the playoffs. But so I think it's empty. It's great for stats. It's great for, to have an ESPN story.
Mm-hmm.
It's great for people to talk about. But I think the record, as you said, the record shows, just really how important it is to actually win the game.
So D, in that Pacer game that you were referring to, that we had a reunion. Luka scored 39 points. He scored 39 points. But here's the problem.
But he had like 10 assists or something, didn't he?
He scored those 39 points. Hold on, they changed my game. Go back.
Wasn't that one of those games in the
that's one of the games. He had a triple double.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He had a triple double. He had 39 points, but he had 30 shots. He was 15 to 30 from the field. Let me see, full team stats.
Well, I thought what was telling about that game was that Indiana had 38 team assists and Dallas had 15.
Mm-hmm.
And Luka had 10 of them or 11 of them. And so, so that just goes to show you nobody else is handling the ball. And Kyrie certainly ain't passing it when he getting it. I gotta shoot it, because if I don't shoot it, he definitely gonna shoot it.
I'm not gonna get it back.
Yeah, I'm not gonna see it again.
Right.
So yeah, my thing with it, Rod, it's kind of like Dorian said, the empty stats. When Westbrook, when he was first getting all those records, getting the triple doubles, and I was actually like watching the games, and I was like, for the first time in my life, I'm seeing someone get a triple double, and it's having the worst possible game I've ever seen. Like, how could you get a triple double, with 20, 30 points or whatever, and you play so bad, and it is like with no bearing on the game at all. And so now that's what I'm seeing with the Harden and with the Lucas. And then, like we also talked about this week, one of the most telling things was the fact that your boy Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, none of us knew that Brunson can play like that. We'd always thought he was decent. He was cool, he was okay or whatever. But I mean, he rarely ever got the ball, so you didn't know that. He was an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years away from Luka, now he's all-star every year. So that's the telling fact. And the fact
on NBA this year.
Yeah, another thing with it, now with those trades, they actually have they have a pretty good team. Dallas has a pretty good team.
Mm-hmm.
But the ball is moving, like they said. The ball has energy. But if that ball's not moving, it's nobody else gets any of the energy, and you can't make a big shot if you ain't touched the ball all game. And then he's disappointed they miss. I mean, they haven't seen the ball. They forgot what it looks like.
Right. They haven't tested it until you just threw it to them at the last second. They got to shoot it with 3 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and then when they get in their hand, they're looking at it like, is this a basketball?
So what was it? He shot the first 8 shots.
Man, now he shot the first 8 out of 10. Remember, he shot the first 6, and then the one dude
stole the ball.
He stole it, got the steal and the dunk, and then Luka took the next 5.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's just now don't get me wrong. I mean, Luka is very talented, man.
Mm-hmm.
That he's good. But I mean, what? I didn't even want to go into this, but what is Jason Kidd doing? Is he just like a figurehead? Is he just like there?
Who watching him? But so this can go into a bad direction. But Jason Kidd has never been good as a coach.
He hasn't.
He wasn't good in Milwaukee.
I agree.
He wasn't good in LA.
I agree with that.
He's not good in Dallas.
And I'm a big Kidd fan too, as a basketball player.
He is not a good coach, man.
Yeah.
So, and the thing about it, Jason Kidd is happy. They're gonna win, 50 games this year. They're gonna make the playoffs. Probably be out. And he's gonna make it to at least the second round. And he's gonna get to keep his job. So,
are they gonna make it to the second round, or are they gonna make it out of the play-in?
Right? Are they? I was just saying, I don't think
they're in the play-in right now.
Where are they right now?
Like 8. I think they moved up because they won like last.
Wow.
Yeah,
they are. Dallas is 8. Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
And they moved up. Like I said, they
9 games above 500. They 8th.
Yeah, they just moved up to 8. They were like 9th. Like 9th, I think.
They'd have a road game against Sacramento in the first play-in game.
Yep, sacking 7.
So
yeah, so.
But yeah, he doesn't. His rotations are horrible. Mm-hmm. And for you for Jason Kidd to be one of the best point guards ever to play in the NBA, for you not to rein in your quote unquote point guard, because I don't know what position he actually plays.
Yeah, and impart that wisdom in him.
Yeah, to let him know, listen, if you pass the ball, the ball's gonna come back to you.
Oh yeah. And if you look at
the ball is gonna come back. You'll get the same.
If you look at the box score tonight, both of those centers who are like real athletic and great finishers, both of them had great games. Both of the centers had 20 points. They normally split minutes. But both of them are excellent finishers.
Right.
So, I mean, why don't they get the ball?
Because Luka got to get 30 shots.
Yeah. Right. Luka
and like he said, now Kyrie's going to get his. He's like us. Hey, I'm going to get mine somewhere in there. So it ain't even no need to worry about that.
You got to get yours, or I got to get mine.
Yeah, I'm getting my 20 to 25. So
get yours.
Everybody else figure out what they're going to do.
Right, and that's the thing is that, and that's the problem. And again, very rarely did you see them on the court together. They don't play together in spurts. And then also, more than anything else, Luka don't play no D. His name should be Luka. It should be his name.
He plays no D.
Absolutely no defense at all whatsoever.
And then, even the top, to like finish that off. Remember what Kobe said about Harden?
But
you'll never win in the playoffs with that style.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So tonight,
and everybody knows this. So why do they keep playing like that?
So tonight he actually lost his streak. His streak is over.
Mm-hmm.
He kept the triple double streak going.
Yeah, he had
30.
But
he had 27 points tonight.
Yeah, he didn't have a 30.
He didn't hit the 30. He had 27 points, 14 assists, 12 rebounds. But here's the problem. He still shot 23 shots.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. And Kyrie has been the good soldier. He has been a good soldier all year. You ain't heard a word from Kyrie.
But he resigned though.
Yeah. He signed a contract. But you haven't heard a word from Kyrie. Kyrie has been you can't.
Well, that's because Kyrie has still been allowed to get his numbers. So, I think that's what that is.
But what is Kyrie averaging? Let me see.
About 20 to 22 or something like that. Or was it 24?
No, he actually averaging 25 points a game, five rebounds, 5 assists.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's been getting his numbers. He's not upset. Yeah, he's fine. It's the other guys that don't get the ball.
Yeah, I guess the rest of the team gonna be mad. Him and Kyrie straight. The rest of the team, they gonna be pissed.
But my thing is, do you even want to win?
I don't even know if that's even a thought for them anymore. If they even care about it. Because Luka got his little shots. He make the over the back passes.
Yeah. And then like D said, I mean, how could you be a team leader if you don't even put any effort towards defense?
And even in that.
And Larry Bird said it a long time ago. He's like, playing one at the end of the floor is like running halfway in a race. You can't win the race if you just run halfway.
Right.
But it ain't just the defense, man. It's the fact that he didn't. The only time he shows emotion is when he tries to score. That's it. He gets mad when he had to pass the ball. He just want to shoot, and he want the ball down every time down the court. And the only time you talking about Kyrie, the only time Kyrie scores is when Luka is off the court. Right. That's when Kyrie get his points. So when they play together, man, it's just horrible. It's just horrible. And like I said, dudes, the big men, they had 20 points. Both of them had 20 points a day.
Yeah. They could play PJ Washington, even what's the other young guy, Josh Green, and yeah, these guys can play.
But he shows that he can pass. He can pass the ball.
Yeah, he's skilled.
But their offense has absolutely no flow to it at all. It's just simply give the ball to Luka and let him dribble for 20 seconds and try to find a shot. That's what their whole offense is.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna win. Which is fine. I don't care.
They double and triple him. Yeah, they double and triple him, and he'll try to figure out a way to beat the double and triple team to score.
Right, instead of passing the ball.
While the teammates are just wide open, just standing in the corner.
Right.
And well, Dallas struggling. But they're 8th. Let's talk about the preview of the last month of the NBA season. We're down to the last 18 or so games. Teams, their playoff rosters are pretty much set. There's no more signing of free agents. You had to be on a roster. Was it by March 1st? Was it March 1st to be eligible for the playoffs?
I think they got a little longer, though.
Or you had to be a free agent by the March 1st, something like that. You couldn't have been. You can't be anybody released after March 1st can't be on a playoff roster. So if they're going to play on if they're going to be able to play, it would have to be released prior to March 1st. So, but which says that for the most part, your teams are already set, unless of course somebody at the G League just scoring 50 a night, and you have no choice but to sign him for the rest of the season, which doesn't really happen. But the teams are set. There's a lot of parity in the middle part of the East and the lower part of the West. So in the East, you have Boston, who's running away with it. They're up by 8 games. They played 63 so far, so they got 19 games left. You got the Bucks, who are 8 games back, but they're only 1 game up on Cleveland. So that's going to be a battle for that 2-3 spot. Then 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8 in the East is only separated by 2 games. That's the Knicks, Orlando, Philly, Indiana, and Miami. They're only separated by 2 games. And then you have 9 being Chicago, 10 being the Atlanta Hawks. 11 is Brooklyn, but they're like 3.5 games back of Atlanta, so that's going to be a little task to have them try to catch up.
Yeah, especially without Ben Simmons.
Yeah, man, that's the hurt about Ben Simmons, man. That's just an absolute hurt.
I can't believe he's hurt.
So in the East, well, I know what dude's gonna say.
Yeah, you do.
But Durham, who you think can challenge Boston in the East? Did I lose D?
No, can I think?
Oh, no, I didn't think, bro. I was looking at the.
I tried to figure out. I tried to fake you out earlier, but you didn't fall for it.
Hey, so. He know you're very quick with it. So,
no, I mean, I really would want to say Milwaukee, but it seemed like they hurt, and then also Middleton ain't really playing the way that he would need to play. That he needs to that I should say that Milwaukee needs him to play. He needs to be that second fiddle, really. But he's been hurt this year.
He needs to be available. That's what he needs to be.
I would like to say Cleveland, but I don't know. It's just something about Cleveland that I don't feel like they could close out a series, particularly a tough series. So really, the only team I could think of would really be the Bucks, and that's only if they really get everything together. Like I said, if they can come into the playoffs injury free, Middleton is playing the way he's supposed to play. That they need him to play. I think that makes Milwaukee a contender. But other than that, I don't see really any of the other teams beating Boston.
Look at my face.
What you thought I was going to say? The Knicks?
Look at my face. Look at my face.
The Knicks better watch out. They better make sure they stay out of play-in.
You was waiting on me to say the Knicks.
Come on, man.
The Knicks is going to be in play.
You should have held your breath.
All right, Pookie Dudes.
Yeah, I think the Knicks are going to have trouble in the play-in this year.
Y'all got jokes, man. Y'all got jokes?
I don't know. For some reason, I think Indiana's going to be a sleeper this year. I mean, nobody's going to challenge Boston to answer that question, but in the East. But
well, Boston in playoffs.
Well, yeah,
playoffs.
but the East stinks. So, it is what it is. I mean, the Knicks are 4th, Orlando's 5th. Even though both of them give Boston trouble, but that's another story. That's regular season stuff. But yeah, I think Indiana's going to be a sleeper, and Miami is always a team that upsets a lot of other teams in the playoffs. But I mean, those teams like Orlando, New York, Cleveland, and even Philly, I think they're all going to have tough times. In New York and Philly with the injuries, I think it's going to be tough. And then those young teams like Orlando and Cleveland, it's going to be tough for them. But Indiana's a young team that plays hard, so I think they're talented.
Didn't the Knicks lose to Philly the other day?
Yeah, Philly without Embiid and Maxey, wasn't it?
Right, and they scored 73 points, and you sitting here mad because I ain't talked about New York
That's
Knicks.
one bad game, man. That's one bad game.
You know, it'd be different if you were saying they had one bad game and they were in like first or second place.
Hey, but you have to give them credit. When
They are literally 10 games out of first, and they are even in the
and we
fourth
missing
spot,
3 starters.
In the fourth spot, they are what, 3.5 games back of Cleveland.
And so basically
missing 3 starters, man.
Yeah, but y'all holding the fort down right now. But how long can they hold it down?
That's how they do it. They treading water. That's the only issue that I have right now. Would to say that they would be quote unquote challenger to Boston. If we don't, a year ago I never would have said this, but if we don't have Julius Randle, we're not gonna go too far. OG is
like they was going for anyway. D.
No, OG is practicing. OG might be back tomorrow, if not tomorrow by Friday. Once we get OG back, we'll start to get a little bit better. But once we get the whole team together, they're gonna be problems for everybody. Because if you look at it, we got a great player at the 1 spot. We got a very good complementary player at the 2 spot that's shooting 43% from 3. You got OG Anunoby, who's a great defensive player. You got Randall, who scores 25 points a game, and you got Robinson.
Mufasa.
You got Robinson, that's a beast in the paint, and you also have other 2 bigs. So when you look at the team,
Robinson's a beast in the paint.
Oh, but Robinson's a beast in the paint, man. But his problem, he can't stay healthy. He cannot stay healthy, and that's the issue. That's the whole theme of our team this year, and that's health.
Yeah, y'all beast in physical therapy.
Yeah, we showed winning in that category. But in the West, so let me run down the West for y'all because this is funny. Leading the West after 64 games, they got 18 left. The Oklahoma City Thunder. They are the number 1 team in the West. But Denver has been making their move. They're only a half game back. They're 9-1 in the last 10 games. And they
shout out to Shea, though.
Shea has been balling, man. Shea has been balling. But they're not. Denver is 9-1 the last 10 games. They're a half game back after 65 games. So they only have 17 left. Minnesota is a game and a half back, but the injury bug has hit them. Karl Anthony Towns is out. Not quite. I mean, if he has surgery, he probably won't be coming back until playoff time. Is he supposed to have surgery, dudes?
I think he is. I mean, it's either repair surgery or what's the other one? D. It's either meniscus repair or the removal of the meniscus or whatever. But, yeah. So one is like out of I think 6 weeks, and then the other one is like for the season. I think he should go ahead and wrap it up though. Wrap the season up because
I thought you said wrap your knee up, going out there and play.
That's what we would do, but no.
Throw some dirt on it.
There's too much money on the line. If I was him, I'd call it a season. 2 games back in Minnesota in 4th place is the Clippers. They've been struggling the last 10 games since they had that big surge after the All-Star break. Then you got the New Orleans Pelicans, who are 6 games back in 5th place. 7.5 games back is Phoenix in 6th place. And then this is where it starts to get interesting. You got the Sacramento Kings, who are a game back of Phoenix for that 6th spot. You got the Dallas Mavericks, who are also a game back, but they played 65 games. I'm sorry, 65 games, and the Sacramento Kings have played 63 games. You got all y'all Los Angeles Lakers, who are LeBron James.
2.5 games back of Phoenix for that 6th spot. They're 6-4 the last 10 games. Then you have Steph Curry and the Curryettes that are 34-30, and they are 4.5 games back. Right? No, 3.5 games back. I'm sorry. They're 3.5 games back. And that's pretty much it because Houston is 5 games back at the Golden State. The Jazz are 6 games back. And yeah, Memphis and Portland, don't even talk about them. They're like 12.5 and 14.5 games back of Golden State. So yeah,
what about Wemby?
Oh, Wemby, my bad. Wemby is 21.5 games back of Golden State. Mm. So yeah, it'd be a little difficult for them to catch them, considering they only have didn't play 66 games, so they only have 18 games left. 16 games left. So in the West, who you got? Give me some predictions, dudes.
Well, Denver. I definitely think Denver will win the West.
No faith in the young ones?
No, no. I'm going with the veteran teams. OKC could do some ups. They could upset some teams though. So right now it would be an upset because they're number one. But yeah, I think they could upset some of those older veteran, more experienced teams. But yeah, so, I have to say Denver, the Clippers, even Golden State and the Lakers. If they could squeeze in there, I think they'll be kind of scary. Because imagine like the Lakers going up against OKC in the first round or something like that.
Exactly. The Lakers are Golden State.
Yeah. OKC. Mm-hmm. And so my money would be on those veteran teams at that point. So I'm going with the veterans, but I would say Denver. The Joker is a monster. So.
All right, I'm gonna get to that in a second. Pookie Dude. Wonder Mouse.
No, I agree with dudes. I think Denver. I think Minnesota is probably gonna fall to 5th. 5th, maybe 6th. And I think what's going to end up happening is that New Orleans actually, if New Orleans has home court advantage, I think they'll win the first round. But I think the Clippers will probably end up in with the 3 seed. I kind of feel like Denver. I kind of feel like Denver is going to end up with the number 1 overall. Not number 1 overall seed, but the number 1 seed in the West. I don't think Oklahoma City. It might be close, but I kind of think Denver is going to end up with home court. And if Denver has home court, Denver is going to make it all the way through. I think the other teams in the West are just, other than Denver and the Clippers, the other teams are just really way too young. I don't really anybody below 5. I'm not really looking to do anything. Phoenix doesn't have a bench. Dallas is just Dallas.
We just had that discussion.
Yeah, the Lakers. I don't really see the Lakers doing much in the playoffs. So that's how I'm really looking at that. I think in the end, Denver makes it to the final. I think that the conference finals, though, I think interestingly enough, I think the Pelicans can make it to the conference finals.
As a 5,
they're not going to be the 5. They're going to end up probably with the 4.
If they're 4, they're gonna have to play Denver in the second round. If 4 and 5, got to play Denver in the second round. If Denver first, you said Denver's gonna be first, right?
Oh yeah, the 1 will play the 4 with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they had to get up to 3rd to make it to the conference finals.
Yeah, no, I don't think they'll be 3rd. I think the Clippers will end up making it in the 3rd.
So SGA has been balling this year, man. He is
Oh yeah,
really been balling this year.
he is a hooper.
He's not going to get the credit that he deserves when it comes to MVP voting. But he is just killing it out here. That team is very young, and they don't understand how young they are because they just go out there and they play basketball.
They don't understand how young they are.
They don't
Do we understand how old we are?
And you look at they're leading the league in point difference. I'm sorry, leading the conference in point differential. They win by like 8 points a game. I think Boston has a higher. Yeah, Boston at 10.9. They lead the league, but they're second in the league, first in the conference in point differential. So they go out there and they just beat you, scoring 120 points. SGA scoring 32, 33 points a game. He's straight balling. However, think about it. I don't know about Denver though, because Denver doesn't. It's not the same Denver team as it was last year, especially when it comes to the playoffs. Denver got a lot of younger kids also that have been playing a lot of minutes. They don't have those veterans that they had last year. That's the only thing that concerns me about Denver. Yes, they're still winning, but those players haven't been through it also. So but you got Joker, so that's he's gonna kind of make
a
up.
A couple of those young Denver players are studs too. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. But if I look at it, I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna run with the kids, though, man. I think I'm gonna run with the kids. I'm gonna go OKC. I'm gonna go OKC. I think they're gonna do it. Golden State, the Lakers, they don't have it. Phoenix, they're realizing that they made a horrible trade when they traded for Bradley Beal. I mean, that was just stupid. If they had had to go back, they would undo that trade and keep mediocre man. And if they'd have been a much better team with mediocre man and the other bench players that they had. CP3, yeah. Now they have no bench,
no point guard.
Yeah, they don't. They got Beal and Booker playing point, which Booker can do it in spurts, but he's not a point guard.
Yeah, Booker can score 70. You want him to be scoring. You don't want
to be a point guard, right?
Yeah, you don't want him to be your point guard. You want him to be out there scoring. But then you got Bradley Beal, who I think Bradley Beal played about 25% of the games. It was just a horrible trade by them. And the problem is they're stuck because who they trading? Yeah, you're not gonna trade Booker. Booker's your best player, even though you got KD on your team. Booker's your best player. You're not trading him. You're not trading KD because that's KD. And who's taking Beal? Nobody's taking Beal in that contract.
For that price tag, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So they're stuck with what they had. They don't have any draft picks because they gave them all away to get Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. So they're just stuck. Dallas would never win as long as Luka plays the way he plays. You got the Pelicans. The Pelicans, Zion gonna get hurt somewhere between now and the end of the season when playoffs start. So I don't think is what's his name back yet?
Who?
McCullough. Is he back yet?
Yeah.
CJ playing?
Yeah, he playing.
So I mean, New Orleans had, like D just said, gotta watch out for them because New Orleans has a big three, man. For real. They got a big three. When CJ plays, excuse me. When you get CJ playing the way that he can play, you got Zion and you got what's the skinny dude?
Brandon Ingram.
You got Ingram playing the way that he do. Man, hey, you got to watch out for them, and they actually have a pretty good bench, but again, they're young, so It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting NBA playoffs. It's always the greatest time of the season. Well, it's kind of one of those surreal moments when the NBA season, the playoff season starts, because then you start realizing when it's over, that really ain't a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
We got baseball, but that's about it. So you get a little sad. You're happy, but you get a little sad also. So that's the extent of our preview for the last month of the season. Then, as we all agree, the Knicks are gonna win the East, and they're gonna go against Denver in the West, or OKC, whichever way you want to go. So that's that. That's that. That's that.
Yeah, but that's something. That's crap. If you're talking about New York going somewhere, but that's not that. It's crap.
We all agreed. We gonna keep rolling with that. But anyway, we've been on here talking about sports, talking about NCAA women, and how they're going to have a wonderful, wonderful tournament this year. We talked about the stupidity of Floje's brother jumping across the seats and then across the scores table to go stand in the middle of a melee. Didn't want to do nothing. He just
it wasn't even a melee. He was just standing there.
He didn't want to do nothing. He just wanted to stand there. So he gets the Idiot of the Week award. We talked about Eric Bieniemy going from the NFL ranks to the college ranks to try to put some more shine on his resume. Hopefully, because it took a beating this past year. We talked about how the storming the field or court is a stupid idea and should be immediately banned in all sports. We talked about the stadiums and how the naming rights is like it's a free agency for naming rights for the stadiums, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. We don't really care. It's just a funny thing to talk about. We talked about the NFL free agency and how Dallas has yet to show Rodney how they're all in.
Again, with Dallas. If you're going to do a recap, just do a recap.
I'm recapping.
Talk about Dallas, man.
And that's part of the thing, man. That was the topic we talked about. What does all in mean in Dallas? That was one of the topics. So shut up. But we also talked about the merits of the franchise tag and how players should really consider that a blessing and not a curse. We talked about Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics and how Tatum needs to work on his clutch side to reinforce his clutch gene, which dude said he does not have. We talked about the significance of Luka Doncic and his streak that has ended of 30 points, triple-double, and how that looks for Luka. And then we talked about the rest of the NBA and the final heading into the final weeks of the season. So we're talking about a lot of stuff today. As always, Dorian has been proven wrong. He did agree with me that my NCAA plan is great. I want to.
Oh, what is going on here?
I'm just doing a recap, telling the people what happened.
That's the longest recap I ever heard in my life.
I'm just telling the people what happened, so they'll know.
I'm gonna doze off doing this recap.
You agree with all my points,
right? The recap gonna be a nightcap.
You agree with all my points, but
he's gonna fall asleep doing his recap.
with that, y'all just go ahead and get in there and push that subscribe button, push that like button, push that what's the other button? Subscribe, like, and follow. Click the follow button. And as always, send dudes the money. Send dudes the money. We hope you like what we had to say. But if you didn't, kiss it.
Baby, I got you.
And guess what, y'all? We out.
Don't blame it on sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. I don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Sunshine, sunshine, moonlight, moonlight, good times. Blame it on the boogie. Sunshine, sunshine, moonlight, moonlight. Boogie's got me in a super trip.